Welcome, friends. It is I, your host, and it's time for the vlog. In the background is going to be a very long Athena game. The first half of the game is an example of what not to do by me, because I do very bad with Athena in the first half. This is a recurring thing with me when it comes to supports. If I good run with them, it's good the whole way through, but when I have a bad run with them at the start, the first 10-15 minutes are crap by me. Then when I get to the mid and late game, I start to recover, tighten up, and I do really well. The problem is that requires my teammates to tighten up and do better than my mistakes. In this game, you're going to see that. But despite that, we have some not the best things going on with certain teammates because they just think we're going to lose the game. This is a mindset that's really bothersome, and a lot of people will notice it. And that is, everyone's used to surrendering early. There's this, if I don't have a good run, I'm just going to quit mentality that happens a lot in not only Smite, but other MOBAs as well. And it's a really terrible mentality. It doesn't do you much good. Sometimes you can really come back and really pull things off, and this is an example of one of them. We have a terrible start, but we come back and we make a game of it. There's other examples, some games that we don't even use, like there's a Kumba game. I feed 0-6 at the start. Terrible. I finished the game 7-6 at the end of the whole thing. I recover after the early game, finally get it going, and we just wreck the game. I start doing some really good CC, interrupting the enemy, getting in the way a lot because I'm finally built up, and the enemy just can't do anything about us and we win the game. The problem is recovering past the beginning point. First blood does not always dictate victory, and people need to remember that and learn that because opponents will get overzealous sometimes, or they'll just make mistakes, and you need to make recoveries and overcome those mistakes. You can always win the game unless you're getting a clear route. If all 5 roles are getting dominated, then yeah, surrender's not a bad idea. Because a fed god can still get stopped, depending on the god actually. If Kronos gets fed, he's a pain in the ass to take out. Like, gods with really good escapes or just really good maneuverability are hard to overcome. Like, say, like a Kronos because of his ultimate, or a fed Arachne because she can get around really well. It's not easy to fed Arachne, but she gets fed, she's really dangerous to deal with. Hell, a fed Kali, she gets fed somehow? Oh yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. You can still overcome her, but it's not easy. It also depends on comps. Do you have a comp that can overcome her eventually or not? That's the thing. Fed gods can eventually be defeated when everyone hits level 20, but it's not easy to do. You have to hunker down, play tight, and you'll be able to pull it out, but it's a long slog to get there. And some people aren't willing to go through those long slogs, but the truth of the matter is, you're in a game already, you gotta evaluate whether or not you can maybe come back if you tighten up and you can maybe do it. Or do you want to do another queue where you might just get dominated even worse? That's a thing there. And I try to analyze that whenever I do my F6s. I'm like, okay, can we come back? Maybe. Okay, do we have the mindset to come back? And just look at my team, it's like, this guy's not going to do jack crap. Probably not. Or these guys still want to be in it, so maybe we can. You got to evaluate a lot when you're F6. You don't just F6 because they got first blood or something like that. That's a really bad mentality. It doesn't do any good. I've won plenty of games where they get the first blood. I've lost plenty of games where we got the first blood. It's not enough to decide anything. But for some reason, people think first blood equals win, which is very odd. It does do something to mentality. It does something to the psyche. It does do that. And the proof in that is people surrendering early for some weird-ass reason. It's the weirdest thing when people surrender when the gold's even and the XP is barely above or below. I've fought a team where we got the first blood, we got a bunch of kills, but they did efficient farming and they did efficient just clearing out, that they were actually ahead of us in gold and XP, and they surrendered. And I was like, what the balls? Like, I was in the middle of looking. I'm like, okay, so we're getting the kills, but they actually have been farming really well, and they're getting gold pretty well, so they're actually ahead of us, which is crazy. So we need to just do more damage to them and get more kills, and then bam, they surrender. Like, whoa, that makes none of the sense. So sometimes a person can defeat themselves. Sometimes a team can defeat itself, which is not very good, but it happens, and it's just odd, very odd. So I don't know. Like, usually when I want to surrender, it's because I know we're not going to pull it out. We're not. That or I don't have the time to try to pull it out. It's usually the first one, but there's some times where it's like, okay, we don't have time for another conquest. We don't have time to drag this out for 40 minutes. So I need us to just pull out. That'll happen sometimes. Smite related. Let's see here. What else is there to talk about? Smite. I guess we talk about the arena. So there's a new arena, but it ain't coming out yet. It's still too buggy, so it's not coming out Tuesday. New Anubis is coming out. Well, it's not a remodel. It's not a rework. It's just a remodel, so he's going to look nicer. I haven't played him because of that, so that our videos don't get dated yet. Unfortunately, we do have that Anubis guide already, but they haven't changed his ability, so why would I remake that, right? That'd be a waste of everyone's time. So it just doesn't look like the new one. I looked at the character model for Anubis. He's buffer, but he's beefier, and he's not as wiry as he used to be, which is unfortunate, but at least he's not like they made him Hercules size or anything like that. He's like a smaller size than Thor. They made him beefier. Like, a lot of the guys are pretty beefy, and we don't have that many wiry guys or scrawny guys. Anubis was one of them. That was just buffer, man. Looks more like Nasus. I can't help but that comparison comes up. The dumb one is the Void Worm comparison to Baron from League of Legends. If that's the comparison you make, why? I think you're making a dumb and terrible comparison. I'm saying dumb on purpose on this one, because it's a dumb comparison. I feel like people are just trying to start shit for no reason. It is obviously based off the Zerg. It's called a Void Worm. A Void Worm. That's StarCraft right there. Don't even front. Don't even front. Just like, it says on the nose is freaking Portal skin. That's on the nose as well. I'm allowed once in a while to call people out on a stupid thing, and saying it's a Baron skin is stupid. It is definitely it's definitely freaking StarCraft. Done. Now what was interesting was the Yeti skin. Everyone thought Ymir, which was, no, that was too easy. It's too easy to be Ymir. And it had fangs on it, and it looked like Kumba. I don't know how people got Ymir. Some people thought maybe, I guess, Shock? I don't know how they got it. It's Kumba. It was Kumba. He had fangs, he's a Kumba. It couldn't be Ymir because Ymir's got too many damn skins for one, and he's already a nice thing. So now we got a Yeti Kumba coming out eventually. And then they data mined more chests for more teams. I found it odd there were only 4 chests. And like, no, there's going to be chests for more teams, so that's cool there. So if you like to support a team, there's going to be more of them. I forget which ones they are. I could look it up, so I'm going to look it up right now. So here they are. This is what they are. They are Nemesis AFK, Rama Dignitas, Isis for Denial, and Trig Agni. And they look alright. Like, I don't like any of these skins, honestly. I really don't. They're okay, but you want to show your support, there you go. And then, of course, there's the AMC skins that are going to come up. I'm going to talk about all these in the patch notes, but AMC skins, they look cool. I am not looking forward in any way to everyone playing League. So it's going to be 20 games in League. I don't think it's 21, it's just 20 games in League to get the AMC skin. Now, my problem with that is a couple things. One is they're bringing back first win of the data League, which is going to piss off ranked players. And then we're going to have a bunch of newbies in ranked. And it's going to be horrible. It's going to be very horrible. You're going to have a mixed bag. You're going to have games with people who are complete crap playing League, and people who are good at League, who are good at ranked, but just it's never been a thing they want to play, but now they're playing it. So we're going to have some people who might be good going in there, but the vast majority is going to suck. There's no way around it. The vast majority of people going into ranked for the 20 wins, for the first win of the day, are going to suck, and it's going to make ranked suck for those who enjoy ranked. It's not going to be good. It's going to suck a lot. You're going to have people who don't use curse. You're going to have people who, even if they use curse, it's not going to go very well. You're going to have ragers. You're going to have a lot of things. It's not going to be very fun. And I got to somehow get 20 wins if I want this skin. And I don't want to deal with it. I really don't. I'm going to probably try to get 3 wins and then say fudge it and just pull out. Because I just don't have the temperament for the lack of temperament that ranked has. I get tired of ragers really quick. When you get ragers like 5 games in a row, you're done. You're just done. Because I've gotten that. It's stupid. It's just stupid. I don't have the temperament to deal with stupid too long. I really don't. I just don't understand how you don't realize when you bitch and bitch and bitch at your teammates for 20 minutes, you're not going to win that game. You have demoralized your team so bad. You're not winning that, guys. You're not going to win that. You can't win that way. You can't. Where have you seen that? Where you browbeat your teammates, where you give them shit while playing that they're gonna win. You don't see that in real sports. You don't see that in anything. That is not a thing that works. Like, look at freaking Titan. And look at what Prime's Cloud9 right now. Look at the big competitive teams. You see them bitching each other out? Do you see that? You don't really see that, do you? Now, when the game's over, they make mistakes. They will be critical with each other. But in the middle of the game, they got to keep each other's mood up. They're keeping each other going. You're not bitching each other out in the middle of the game. You're like, oh, that was a bad move. But you're not going, holy crap, you screwed that up. You suck right now. There might be a team or two like that, but the vast majority are not going to be like that because morale is kind of extremely important in these games. If you want to take rank seriously, you got to stop bitching your team out if you do that, because it ain't going to do anything for anyone on your team. But the message I'm saying right now is not going to reach those people. Not at all. I have the assumption you guys are sensible enough to not rage at your team, because that ain't going to do it. Now, I flip out in stream sometimes, but that's usually not directed. Like, that's usually, no one's going to hear what I'm complaining about. That's me under my breath in a way, because I'm usually playing with people who aren't going to hear me. That's me just complaining to myself. Now, when I type at them, that's when I've made a mistake. When I complain at them through typing, that's when I've made a mistake for sure. Where I just go like, what the hell are you doing? I haven't done that in a couple weeks, but when I did that, yeah, that doesn't help out. Like, if I can go like, that was not the best play. Maybe not do that next time, or it's just something else like that. Or just not even talk to them at all. I don't know, sometimes you gotta talk to right the course to just make them not keep doing the wrong move, and hopefully they hear it. But if you do it too aggressively, it ain't gonna go well, obviously. I think I worded that right. Another problem is just not taunt spamming, but VGS spamming. You do it too much, or you do it ironically or sarcastically. That also doesn't help the team. And it's getting on my nerves, a couple of our viewers doing that, because that doesn't do any good. Now, people say, like, well, Devios does that. Yeah, well, Devios is Devios. You don't have to be Devios. Devios does spam BGS, which makes me mute him. But I can rely and trust in what he's doing, that I don't have to hear him. Because I've had matches with him randomly. And he's not that fun to play with because of the spam. You're spending so much time with the spam happening that you can get distracted from what you're doing. I say do it 2 times, that gets the message across, and there you go. Now, if you're calling something like a missing, call it every, like, maybe 30 or a minute. That's not spammy at all. But when you hit the thing, like, 5 times, that is spammy. And that can get on people's nerves, and that can also be distracting. Like, you need to not spam the shit out of your VGS, basically is what I'm saying, because it'll make people mute you. It makes me mute you, and as much as individual as like to be, there's other people who have the same mindset. So, you gotta pace it out, I really feel. Now, if that's how you roll with your team, competitive-wise, then there you go, that's how you roll. But, like, you can't bring that into a thing and think it'll be alright. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of pro players or good players who just take charge of a team and expect the team to follow them. And that's not a thing you can really do when you're playing with randoms. It's just not a thing you can do. Now, when we do the viewer games, I expect that a bit because it's my team that I put together because it's a viewer game. I do that less so when it's with randoms. Well, I don't do it at all when it's with randoms. I will point out mistakes. But if we're doing three-man conk, I will just play like a teammate. If we're doing a 5-man, I will put some lead in there. Going like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, and I expect us to do that. Because that is just the right move to make. But just with randoms, I don't really think it's the right thing to take charge, because you'll get people who don't appreciate that and will not respond. I had a game with, there's a juice person. They took charge of the team, they were calling shots and all this stuff. And if you didn't do what they were doing, they just called you an idiot. And I did not react well to that from the beginning. Like, look, I'm trying to, because I was a jungle, I'm getting these camps for you guys. I'm getting the bus right now. I'm kind of on the other side of the map. You guys want me at Gold Fury. Even when I get there, I'll be too late to the party. I'm not an idiot for just trying to cover the bases over here. But that was their reaction, was, you're an idiot for not helping with Fire Giant. I'm not blue buff. I'm on the wrong side of the map right now. It's not my fault. I didn't know you wanted to do Fire. You wanted to do Gold Fury right now. What do you want me to do? I'm over here right now. I'm getting blue for the solo lane, who's still in solo lane, so he can get his blue. I'm sorry I didn't know the meta of, I need to go do Gold Fury right now with you guys. Because that doesn't always happen. Randomly in a match with TV, apparently. And that's the thing I need to do. No, I can't do that. You call me an idiot, now I'm going to mute you. Now, I'm not going to hear any of your commands, any of the things you want to suggest, and you're just going to hate me the rest of the game. But I don't care, because I'm going to F up if I keep having to listen to you bitch at me. And so that's the standpoint I took, is I didn't say any of that. I just muted them, went about my game. We won the game, clearly, but I went about my way of doing it, because you can't just browbeat someone, expect them to go do things your way. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of mindsets, there's a lot of mentalities out there. You can't just browbeat. It don't work always. It can work sometimes, but it don't work always. Really, browbeating only works when people know who you are. When people don't know who you are, you're just some asshole. That's really what you are. Just some asshole trying to force them to do something they don't want to do. I'm going off on this a lot, so I better stop with that already. Every time that new arena. Why is there no Manticore? Why? Come on. Why can't we have Manticore come back? Man, I guess dead things are dead, so Manticore's still dead. The Minotaur's still dead. Oh, by the way, there is going to be a Blast from the Past episode. I don't know if we're using it as bonus or in place of another where a regular episode would be. I'm not sure. It's going to be based on one of the first episodes, and it's just going to be a lot of me talking over it, and it should be very interesting. Talking about just how things were back then, and comparison to now. It's very fascinating, I think, going over the past like that. So it'll be an interesting watch whenever it comes out. Next LP is a different LP. You might like it, might not like it. It's only going to be for next week. Then we'll go into Shadow of Mordor the week after, so that should be a lot of fun. If you do not like the next LP, Shadow of Mordor, of course, is insanely fun. I'm going to be rusty, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to start with Lord of the Hunt, then we're going to do the Bright Lord. What I know about Bright Lord is that it's a really good DLC. Apparently, it expands and builds on the regular game very well with the Nemesis system, so I can't wait to see that for sure. Okay, so, played Splatoon. Splatoon is fun. The roller is OP as hell. Splatoon's coming out at the end of May. So, that game needs some balancing right now. L2P doesn't make any goddamn sense when there's only 4 classes in a game, and the roller kind of owns everybody. It's fun, it's very fun, but the demo shows you very little of the game, hopefully very little of the game. There wasn't a lot shown in the demo. It's fun, but $60 fun? It ain't there unless they show us a lot more to that game. Jinx's feeling is that it's clearly showing that Nintendo is not really good at doing this yet. Like, they haven't done a thing like the Test Fire before. So this is the first time out, and of course it's not going as well as it could. It's a fun game, but it doesn't show enough of the game to make people want to buy. Conversely, some people are buying based on that demo, so go me on that judgment. I don't feel like it's enough. I was looking forward to buying this game. Now I'm like, I might hold back and see what is actually in the game now. Because I assumed, foolishly, that there would be a lot to it, and maybe there will be, but that demo did not do enough to convince me. It convinced me out, so, there's that. It's fun. It is hella fun. I like it. Very colorful. Music's interesting. Not my favorite music, but the music's interesting. The gameplay is interesting. The controls could be a bit better. It's a bit odd doing motion control and right stick and all that. It's very weird. If there's an option to change that, I hope that there's gotta be. But for now, I will do the motion control because it's kind of interesting doing it that way. And there you go with that. One shot is the... Kaiju Go-Go. Interesting game. That's me just having fun on a bun. Because it's just fun destroying things. That's the kind of person I am. I break things. Next couple one-shots. I think I'm going to do... after this vlog, I need to select the person who won the Castle Storm giveaway. Sometimes we have extra copies of a game. And when we do a one-shot, we'll give away a copy of that game. So we'll be doing that every once in a while in the future. That should be fun. As far as, a gem giveaway for Smite should come up the end of May. I'll be done with... Next week I have state exam, which will decide my fate, and then I have finals. So after all that's done, so like, let's see, 2 weeks from now, should be able to do a giveaway. So that'll be good. We have convention tier, we have Alienware Raw, we have TM Ward skins as always, we have 400 gem codes, so we have a lot of things we can give away, so that'll be fun to do. That'll be nice. I don't know if I don't think I have any more driver forwards, but I have one more Smite Showcase icon. So I can also give that away if I want. And people really wanted that one. It's an extremely rare icon, by the way. Not a lot of people have that thing. Really rare. It's hella rare. I think it's everything in general. No, there's not really a lot of time to talk about a topic. There was one topic I want to go over, and that was the danger of, I guess... Yeah, I'll go over it for a little bit. I'll kick this up a bit, because the Athena game's so long. We have a problem as people. And that problem is gullibility. Gullibility. We are extremely gullible. Or we just trust too much. Maybe it's naivete is the word. And sometimes we can be also overly cynical. There's a balance in the middle where you need to be able to trust people, but you also need to be a bit cynical about things or skeptical. A scientist is naturally skeptical because they need to try to find the answers to things, but even scientists can be a bit naive as well. Case in point, the autism and vaccine study. That was a lot of people taking that seriously. And that was actually a whole lot of lying. And because of that, now we have, the measles are back? Yeah, we have things we eradicated back because a scientist lied horribly and a bunch of people believed them, and that wasn't good. And now we have Jenny McCarthy and a bunch of things. And we have people dying because we're not vaccinating. Anti-vaxxers. If you're an anti-vaxxer, don't comment at all, please. We don't want to get my dander up. We just don't. No. Now let's move on to the next thing. Another example is even worse. A lady in Australia wrote a book about how she overcame brain cancer through dieting. That's it. And people believed her. Some people dropped their chemo. A bunch of other treatments. Like, people stopped doing cancer treatments and just ate right and better to get rid of their cancer. Oh, it comes out later. Oh, she lied. She lied about having cancer and curing it with a diet. There are people who are going to die because they believed her. And I don't want to blame the people who have cancer and doing that. Like, they're desperate. They want to not die. Chemo sucks a lot. I have seen people on chemo. It is not fun. And they just want to find an easier way out. Or maybe they think this is the one that'll do it. Since this woman survived brain cancer, maybe they have that same cancer or a lesser cancer or just a different kind of cancer. They feel, oh, dieting, that'll be a lot better than chemo. Because maybe they're not seeing results from chemo. Who knows? But now they probably will die because they believed her. That's the danger of believing something too much at face value and not looking into it enough, or just not being skeptical enough. But we can be overly cynical and overly skeptical and completely poo-poo on something that's actually valid, which is not good either. But it's this weird mindset of maybe that little difference is actually the truth and not the overwhelming amount of data the other way. The example again is back on the vaccines. We have paper after paper after paper of not linking vaccines to autism. But this one guy bullshitted it, and so because of that, a crap ton of people believe it, and here we are now. That is this weird thing where people just think, oh, the exception is the truth. Same thing happened with AIDS. Same god dang thing happened with AIDS. Back in the day, there's all this overwhelming proof that holy crap, this is the link to it. And you have a couple of people bullshitting false science saying, no, this is actually the reasoning behind it. Or you can cure AIDS with vitamins. That came out. That bullshit happened. People believed it, and millions died. That is weird, isn't it? But it's something we do. Humans believe that sometimes they're in on a conspiracy, that they believe that the truth is not the truth, and dangerous things come out of that sometimes. And where am I going with that? I'm going with, we believe things, and we should believe things. The problem is we should also think about it a little bit and look into it a little bit. We shouldn't just take everything at face value, because a lot of things are misquoted, or a lot of things lose their meaning, or they change meaning. There are a lot of examples of that. We can go on a different example. How about absolute power corrupts absolutely? The power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. There's actually a word missing from that. It is power tends to corrupt, absolute power corrupts absolutely. There's a word missing from that. Tends, that's the word that was in there. And so it got used as well, if you have power, you're bound to become a corrupt person. But the original saying was, if you got power, you usually will be corrupt. But there are good apples in everything. There are exceptions. Another thing about it is sometimes the exception that proves the rule is probably one of the biggest mistakes in sayings. Something that is counter to what you're looking at is not proving the rule. An exception that proves the rule is when you have an exception that is the rule. When you go like, all these things happen, but sometimes this happens. And that exception happening is the proof of that part of that saying. An exception does not prove that something is a thing. We used it incorrectly for so long. Irony is a big one. Irony has so many incorrect definitions that irony is just all these other definitions now. The Alanis Morissette definition is just accepted now because fudge it. That's what's happened there. Ending this on this. We believe people too much because we trust them. We trust them to not lie to us or to be right in their things. But sometimes people are just wrong. And sometimes people are just lying to us because they can. I'll bring a little bit of fire because why not? Ian Brandon, he says things. What he says is law. Pro players, what they say is law. That is not always the fact. Sometimes they are mistaken, sometimes they are wrong. Sometimes they are just bullshitting because they can. There is proof of all those things. That happens. And me, I can be wrong on what I believe. I do certain playstyles, I do certain builds, because I believe that works. But in the end, it might only work for me, it might not work for you. When I do the guides, I try to be as objective as possible. I'm like, here's what I think will work out for beginners. I try to do that. I don't put in my opinion on that. I put what I think and all that, but I don't try to put too much... I don't try to do too much counter to what generally might be accepted, but sometimes I am a bit counter because I feel like there's too much advanced opinion on something that needs a little more beginner opinion, if I worded that correctly. I don't actually have any good examples of that. Oh yeah, Bastet, I recommended a lot. Here's what's weird. I recommend a lot of cooldown on Bastet. People said that's actually a terrible build, and now there's a lot of people who build cooldown on Bastet, so apparently I was ahead of my time. Apparently. I don't get it. A lot of people emphasized basic attack Bastet for a while, and I was going for cooldown Bastet because she's a good caster. And I got shouted down as stupid for that. And now we're seeing more people do cooldown Bastet because the hell, she's a good caster. I don't know, I don't get it. You do a cooldown start and you go into basic attacks later because then her abilities fall off. But she's a beast early on if you can get her going. The most dangerous one of all, I'm making this a bit long, the most dangerous one of all is Aristotle. It's Aristotle and humanity's fault. Aristotle, some of the bullshit... He was a good philosopher, is my understanding. I don't know any of his philosophy because I don't care about that. As a scientist, I hate Aristotle. Because Aristotle did a lot of science, and he fudged it up for everyone. He said a lot of science stuff back in like 300, 200 BC. He said a bunch of stuff. It was all wrong. All of it was wrong. People believed it for millennia. It took like 1600 years, 1800 years to prove some of his shit wrong. The reason for that was Aristotle was wrong about a bunch of stuff he said, but people kept it. People kept saying it was right. People kept saying his word is law. They shouted down anyone who said otherwise, and it kept going. And then finally people were like, look, irrefutable proof that Aristotle was full of shit. Again, and again, and again, and it kept happening and happening and happening. Because finally, we had enough proof and science to prove it. But science got held back horribly because of Aristotle's bullshit at the start and people holding it going. I hate Aristotle because of that. He's not the complete reason why he's why he's wrong, but he's not a complete reason why science got held back. Because people themselves held science back. Because of bullshit like that. Just holding on to his facts, believing them as truth, not even trying to refute them. That is the wrong way to go about it. You should always... This is what devil's advocate really is. Holy crap, I'm defining a lot of things correctly. Devil's advocate is you believe in the thing you are arguing against because you're putting up arguments against the thing you believe in to help strengthen it because you're looking for the cracks in it. Like, you're not arguing against something because you're in the minority. That's just you arguing against something because you don't like it. Like, say, you're a big fan of oranges. This is a very stupid, simple argument. And you have all these arguments for why oranges are awesome. But then you realize, hey, this might be a counter-argument to oranges, so you argue for that counter-argument to find how your argument for oranges can be strengthened, defending against that. That is a devil's advocate. You are saying, here's a counterpoint to something I believe in, so I can figure out how would I defend against that. That is a devil's advocate. A devil's advocate is not, I'm in the minority in opinion about something, so I'm going to argue against that thing. Like if you're one of the people who don't like oranges, and there's a majority of people who like oranges, and you make an argument against them, you're not playing devil's advocate. You're just arguing against them. That is what that is. That is what that means. This is a long vlog. Okay, we're going to stop now. But there is a danger in how we just believe things. We should be skeptical, but not so skeptical that we believe nothing. And we should not be so naive that we believe everything. We're all guilty of this. I've done it plenty of times. Sometimes I believe a fact, and I find out, oh no, I was wrong to believe in that, because they were not on the level, or they were misquoted. People get misquoted all the goddamn time. We do it all the time. Either we misquote or someone misquotes, and then we hear their misquote, and then we take their misquote, and then we believe that is truth, and then it just snowballs into stupidity. I'm pretty sure I could go for a day on a lot of subjects, which is why these vlogs exist. I'm going on a different subject. Of course, I don't always think of them as I'm doing them. And they just come up, and this just came up. I just started talking about it, and here we are. Here we are, we're doing this. And I just went off on this. I went off on a lot of things, didn't I? And you are right to disagree with me if you don't believe in any of the crap I just said. But this is my opinion. This is my vlog for my opinion. But there you go with that. Thank you to anyone who stuck around for the whole thing. I think the game should still be going. It was a long one. That's the thing at the end of the day. This is my opinion. My opinion is my opinion. It is not law. It is just what I believe in. And what I think is right. And maybe I'm wrong on this or that. I'm not wrong on vaccines, though. For the love of God, vaccinate children. Why do we have things that were eradicated back? It's not a conspiracy, people. We were actually doing things right. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, that's the vlog. I had fun. Hope you had fun watching and listening. And that is the vlog. Keep enjoying the Athena game. Crazy 180, right? How that game's going? It's pretty nuts. Also, the ADC was a jerk. I really do not like our ADC in this game. They pretty much quit, which wasn't very fun, so I muted them. But they start actually doing things because, like, oh, they're not going to surrender. And then we win the game. Really, really not fun having a teammate like the ADC. But there you go. That right there is the game. I had fun watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay.
We need walls. On my way. You must be aware of your duty of person.
Awesome. An ally has been slain. Shut down. Its course. Killing spree. It's only the beginning.
Enemies behind us. Please.
Your left tower is under attack.
Group up.
Okay.
Face me.
Killing spree. Double kill. You have been slain.
Sometimes power is needed. Group up. Defend. Defend left lane.
On my
I'll
way.
defend middle lane.
Your left
No
tower
problem.
is under attack. Your left tower has been destroyed. enemy has been slain. Grab me! An enemy has been slain. Double kill. An enemy has been slain. Failed me. Okay.
On my way. Ooh, very nice. Ultimate is ready.
Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower. Retreat!
Be careful, middle. Retreat middle lane.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
Be careful. Retreat left lane. Retreat. Set up an ambush here. Over here.
Slain an enemy.
Retreat left lane. Retreat.
Serpent.
Killing spree.
Face me.
Double kill.
Chase the enemy. Your life is at an end.
Triple kill.
Attack left lane. Attack left lane. It is complete. Rally. Over here.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy phoenix.
Attack the middle phoenix. Retreat. Return to base. Face me.
Your team has destroyed a middle. An enemy has been slain. Die for your master.
Be careful, middle. On my way. Ultimate is ready.
Ward here.
Attack!
An enemy has been slain. Bring him. An enemy has been slain.
Okay. Bang up to the elephant. Attack right
Be
lane.
right back.
Okay.
Need healing.
Okay.
Ward here. Cancel that.
That should cover my vital parts. Enemies behind us. Enemies behind us. Be careful, middle. Reinforcements on the way.
Killing spree. Here we go.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I'll get some use out of that. I'll attack right lane. No.
Ultimate is ready.
Ultimate is ready.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
Over here! Rally!
Killing spree. Here we go.
An ally has been slain.
On my way. Face me!
An enemy has been slain. Unstoppable. On my way. Your team has destroyed a middle enemy phoenix.
Bye-bye.
Destroyed a right enemy phoenix.
Out of mana. Do not lay charge against me.
An ally has been slain. Retreat!
Retreat!
Slow down.
Face me!
Slain an enemy.
Must be aware of the use of the On my way.
Been slain. Shut down!
Group up.
Yes! Ward the fire giant!
Okay. Set up an ambush here.
Enemies incoming! Retreat! Incoming!
Retreat!
Cancel that! An ally has been slain!
Always be prepared. Group up. Gank. Over here.
An enemy has been slain.
Reinforcements on the way.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
On my way. I'll attack middle lane. Attack middle lane. Attack the Titan. Attack the Titan.
An enemy has been slain.
Double kill.
Tasks are